kiss me now, I can't forget. I got a twitch in my eyes and I'm a rip in my sleeve. You tore out my heart and you didn't even leave. I can't understand why I can't get attraction. I get a wild, nervous breakdown reaction. In circles round my room, talking to shadows, barking at the moon. I see your face in a shattered glass. You're moving too slow, I'm coming too fast. I can't understand why I can't get attraction. I get a wild, nervous breakdown reaction. Dead. The static screams, your lipstick's etched into all my dreams. Tried to run, but I lost my shoes. I'm a mess, babe, and it's all bad news. I can't shut it off, I need some distraction. I get a wild, nervous breakdown reaction. In my veins, howling in the rain, ripped up love and driving me insane.
Phone keeps ringing, bills keep stacking. Boss man shouting, fingers wagging all this nonsense. All this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense. we're talking loud, dog won't quit barking. Gas tank empty, meter man's working. All this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense. Ain't got time to be polite. Sweetheart calling, says she's leaving, wants a diamond ring and a house this evening. All this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense. I'm just trying to stay alive. Hey, I'll get in my car, then the tire goes flat. Radio's broke and the engine went crack. All this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense. Man, I'm lit up to the top. Go to the diner, wants a piece of mine. Waitress spills coffee, says ain't your time. All this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense, all this nonsense. Someone get me out of here.
I'm a circuit breaker saint with a wire grin buzzing in your speaker. Let the riot begin. So shock me, blind. Shock me, shock my mind. I want bleach-fed dogs in a data storm. I want neon teeth and a uniform. I'll hack the moon and reroute the rain. Flood your screens with chemical brains. I'm a circuit breaker saint with a wide grin buzzing in your speaker. Let the riot begin. So shock me blind. Shock me, shock my mind. Shock me, shock my mind. I check your law and weld it shut. Turn every rule into static and rust. Don't want your truth, don't want your vote. I'll ride that drone till its wings explode. I'm a circuit breaker saint with a wire grin buzzing in your speaker. Let the riot begin. So shock me blind. Shock me, shock my mind. Shock me, shock my mind. I'm a circuit breaker saint with a wire grin buzzing in your speaker. Let the riot begin. So shock me blind. Shock me, shock my mind.
Papa gonna take you for a Sunday ride. Sweet little baby, don't you moan. Papa gonna bring that money home. Oh, 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 don't you cry. 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 Papa gonna buy you a soda float. If that soda fill your toes, sweet little baby, don't you moan. Papa gonna bring that money home. Don't you cry. Papa gonna take you for a Sunday ride. Sweet little baby, don't you moan. Papa gonna bring that money home.
She paints her lips in the rearview mirror, talks to ghosts when nobody's near her, wears sunglasses when it rains at night, says someone told her how to start a fight. She's so way out for her mind. She's so way out, the wild wasted kind. She's so way out, she don't read the signs. Took my heart and left my reason behind. Wakes up empty to a broken clock, says her soul stashed in a pawn shop box. She burned my letters just to watch and scream. Now I sleepwalk through a twisted dream. She's so way out of her mind. That's her life, she's like warning sign. She's so way out, she's a real landmine. Blew my cool, now I'm out of time. Tried to run, but she walks through walls. She kissed my brain and she wrecked it all. I heard her laugh through the telephone line. Come on, baby, lose your mind with mine. She's so way out for her mind. Oh yeah, she's sweet, but she ain't kind. She's so way out, if pardon you got to talk, my never the time. She's so way out for her mind. Oh yeah, she's sweet, but she ain't kind. She's so way out, and I may stand such a get by the Olivia Wilde.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, cold wind blowing down that lonesome track. Why don't you hear me crying? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, tell me, baby, why you treat me so mean? Why don't you hear me crying? Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, your door was locked and your lamp was low. Why don't you hear me crying? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, steel rail humming, sound like a weeping song. Why don't you hear me crying? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, I can't stop walking since you done me wrong. Why don't you hear me crying? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, black smoke rising like the pain in my chest. Why don't you hear me crying? Ooh, 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 ooh. Whoa, midnight cold train ain't gonna let me rest. Why don't you hear me crying? Ooh, 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 ooh.
Balthazar the thunder striker, a hero bold and grand. Balthazar the storm igniter with lightning in his hand. Balthazar,
Balthazar,
Balthazar, Balthazar,
Balthazar.
Faster than fast,
Fast,
brighter than flame,
flame,
louder than thunder,
Ooh.
stronger than pain.
pow.
Ready to fight for truth once again. Balthazar the blazing guardian, protector of the land. Balthazar the sky commander,
Balthazar, the sky commander.
the world is in his hand. He's faster than fast, brighter than flame,
Flame,
louder than thunder,
Ooh.
stronger than pain.
pow.
Ready to rise again and again. Balthazar,
Balthazar,
Balthazar, Balthazar.
Balthazar.
Balthazar,
Balthazar,
Balthazar.
Charlie rolling on a midnight train. He's got love like sugar and flame. He killed my baby down by the track. She says you might not be coming back. Oh. Charlie's boots go stomp, stomp, stomp. He walks like thunder, drives an old car. I said, now, baby, don't you be swayed. She said, I like the kind of games he plays.
drive too fast. She's my baby, now move on fast.
says it's always been you. I'm looking down and I whisper, what else could I do? Kiss me till it hurts, break me with your name, hold me like a curse, then throw me back the same. Kiss me till it hurts, like a song stuck in reverse. Make me your religion, make me worse. I know because I'm the size
stay hip, but you're losing your grip, and you slip on your own little plan. Slip on your own little plan. So man, you're crawling like a beetle in glue. That's right, A buzz off rat face. Buzz off rat face. People gonna laugh. They're gonna laugh. They're gonna laugh right in your face. Ow! Real slick with your worn out shake, but every time you throw a line, it lands like turpentine. You're begging for heat, but you're stuck on repeat, trying to swing with the gang again. Swing with the gang again. So man, you're dancing on the edge of a boot. So buzz off rat face. Buzz off rat face. People gonna cheer, gonna shout, they'll give you a boot right in your face. Buzz off rat face. Buzz off rat face.
me, take a bow, rattling on our face. Hands up.